For years, a fascinating debate has been unfolding in the world of currency. Are Iraq's high-denomination dinar notes a problem, or are they a sign of preparation? For some, these large banknotes are a constant reminder of past inflation and economic struggles. For others, they might be a quiet, deliberate step toward a major financial transition. So, what's the real story? Are these notes holding Iraq back, or are they setting the stage for something bigger? To get to the bottom of this, we first need to understand why high-value banknotes exist in the first place. Iraq introduced these large denominations during periods of intense hyperinflation. When your currency's value plummets and most transactions are in cash, you simply need bigger bills to buy everyday things. Think about it. If a loaf of bread costs thousands of dinars, you don't want to carry a wheelbarrow full of small bills to the market. At the time, it was a practical solution born out of necessity, not a grand symbolic gesture. But a lot has changed since then. As Iraq's economy has stabilized and inflation has been brought under control, the downsides of these big notes are becoming more and more obvious. Imagine needing a huge stack of cash for a simple purchase, like a used car or a piece of land. It complicates everything, from pricing and accounting to just feeling secure carrying that much money around. This cash-heavy environment also fuels informal or shadow economies and makes it incredibly difficult for the government to track financial flows. This is a major concern for any modern economy trying to fight corruption and illegal activities. From this angle, the high-denomination notes definitely look like a problem. They act as a drag on progress, slowing the shift to digital payments and increasing risks like money laundering and tax evasion. These are serious hurdles for a country working hard to integrate into the global financial system and attract foreign investment. When international bodies look at a country, they want to see a transparent and modern financial infrastructure, and a reliance on huge cash transactions can be a red flag. So yes, in many ways, these notes are a remnant of a more chaotic past that the country is trying to move beyond. But hold on, there's another, more strategic way to look at this. Major currency reforms rarely happen overnight. They aren't like flipping a switch. They happen in stages, often over several years. Frequently, high-denomination notes are kept in circulation. During the initial phases of a reform, while the government works on the really heavy lifting behind the scenes. This includes strengthening its banking sector, improving financial compliance with international standards, and most importantly, building public trust in the financial system. So, the continued presence of these notes might not be a sign of failure at all. It could actually be a sign of careful, methodical preparation. We've seen Iraq making significant moves on multiple fronts. They're expanding digital banking services, modernizing their payment systems, and working to align with international financial standards, like those set by the Financial Action Task Force. The eventual plan for these large notes could be just one part of a much broader, more comprehensive strategy to reshape the entire economy, rather than a sudden, shocking change that could destabilize things. And let's not forget the human element. This is perhaps the most critical part. Currency is deeply tied to public confidence. It's not just paper, it's a symbol of stability and trust in the government and the economy. If you suddenly remove the largest banknotes from circulation without preparing people, without giving them viable alternatives they trust, you could cause widespread panic. People might rush to exchange their cash, leading to bank runs and economic chaos. A gradual, well-communicated approach is always safer and more effective. So, keeping these notes in play while simultaneously building up better alternatives, like reliable digital payment apps and a stronger banking network, could be the smartest way to manage the transition. It allows the public to get comfortable with new ways of handling money while the old familiar way is slowly phased out. This approach keeps people calm and avoids the kind of shock that could derail the entire reform process. For anyone watching from the outside, especially investors, this distinction between a problem and a preparation is crucial. Many people hear whispers about currency changes and immediately jump to conclusions. They think any plan to delete zeros or change banknotes means a revaluation or a currency reset is just around the corner. They start speculating, hoping for a quick profit. But the reality is that a currency's value is tied to much deeper economic fundamentals. We're talking about things like GDP growth, national productivity, fiscal discipline, foreign exchange reserves, and political stability. The numbers printed on the banknotes themselves are just one small piece of a very large and incredibly complex puzzle. Changing the notes without fixing the underlying economy is like putting a new coat of paint on a crumbling house. It might look better for a moment, but the fundamental problems are still there. So, after looking at both sides, are Iraq's high-denomination dinar notes a problem or a preparation? The most likely and nuanced answer is that they are both. They represent the lingering challenges from Iraq's difficult economic past, but they also exist within a system that is actively changing and moving forward. They are a problem that is being managed as part of a larger preparative strategy. The key isn't the notes themselves, but the direction of the policies being implemented behind the scenes. The real focus for anyone trying to understand the future of the Iraqi economy should be on the long-term indicators of economic stability, not on short-term speculation about the banknotes. As Iraq's banking reforms mature, as digital finance becomes more widespread, and as public confidence in the system grows, these large notes will naturally become less important. They will fade into obsolescence because people will have better, safer, and more convenient options. Ultimately, the future of the Iraqi dinar won't be determined by the numbers printed on its banknotes. It will be determined by the strength, diversity, and resilience of the economy that backs them up. The high-denomination notes are just one chapter in a much larger financial story that is still being written, a story of a nation working to build a more stable and prosperous future. Thanks for watching. If you found this insightful and want more deep dives into the global economy, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more content. See you next time.